All right, welcome back, everyone, to the East Bay Sports Talk podcast. I know it has been a long time since I've last recorded, and I got to be honest, it's just I've been having a lot of trouble trying to record on my own. I just get flustered easily, and I always rethink everything that I'm doing, and because of that, I haven't been able to record for a while. But last weekend, I was at a Bears game with my dad, Cal Bears, by the way, to be specific, and
as opposed to Chicago.
Yes.
Okay.
What'd you call it? And so, Dad, you were asking me, how's your podcast going? I was just honest about it. I'm having a lot of trouble with it and such. And I talked about how I really need a partner in all this, to which I could tell by the look on your face you're thinking, oh, dear God, he's going to ask me, isn't he?
Yeah, I did have that look.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? When we get done with this podcast, you're going to be rethinking asking me to do it. But go ahead.
No, yeah, and I just asked you to do this because, you're the reason why I got into sports. I explained a lot of that in the second episode about how, you're the reason why I'm into sports in the first place. And I'm still wondering if I should thank you for that.
Well, I totally dig the way you have embraced sports, all sports. Well, when I say all sports, I mean A's, Warriors, and the Raiders. That's all sports.
Yeah. And we always have a lot of great, debates or, just conversations about sports in general. And so, I just thought it'd be a really good idea to add you to this.
And I'm glad you did. I'm glad you asked me.
And so from now on, my dad and I will be the ones running this podcast. And some other good news today, we're going to have a guest, my uncle, Joey.
Glad to be here. I'm so proud of my nephew. Stevie is just has amazed me with his sports acumen and the knowledge of the Bay Area sports scene, and more than proud tonight to be a part of it.
So today we're going to go over our predictions for Week 8 in the NFL. Then after that, go in depth of the Raiders versus Houston game. I'll go into a little bit about the trade deadline, which is coming up next week. Then we'll talk a little bit about Raider who passed away recently this week, Willie Brown.
R.I.P.
And then go into some of the Astros' dilemma within their front office. And then talk about the Warriors season opener, which we definitely wish went better.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. And so, Week 8. So last week my dad and I actually did picks for Week 7. We're not going to go into detail about that, though, because, that's already, pretty much a thing of the past. The sport goes week by week, and Week 7 already went by. But, one thing we could say, though, is that we both were 10-4 with our predictions. So, pretty good start.
That's without the spread.
Yeah, without the spread. The spread, that is something I still need to get used to understanding, but eventually I'll find my way through that. But with the first game, actually today's game, we predicted before it started, but by the time this comes out, the game's already gone by, was Washington versus Minnesota. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I picked they were not going to cover, but the Vikings would eventually win. They did not cover, and they won. So, it wasn't rocket science. I think everybody having any brain kind of would have predicted the same thing.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to go with Minnesota as well. Although, yeah, I am disappointed with the spread, though. The spread was -16 Minnesota. I was expecting this to be a killer game for Minnesota, knowing how dominant their offense has been. And even without Adam Thielen, I thought they still would have done really well offensively, but they only won 19-9. Anything you want to say, Dad?
Yeah, I picked Minnesota to cover. They didn't. When they decided to go for it on 4th down on a lame play, I knew I was toast.
Yeah. And so now we're going to go into Sunday's games. Cincinnati versus the Rams, or Bengals and Rams.
Yeah, and how did we choose, Steven?
We all went with LA on this one. It seems pretty easy. Cincinnati is yet to win a game. Rams were having a bit of a shaky going. They start off 3-0, then went to 3-3. Then they won their next game by a landslide. Feels like they'll do that again this week.
Oh, and Cincinnati's so wishy-washy.
Yeah.
They don't have their I don't think they have their direction, and in this time of the season, it's a little bit too late for that. So, as much as I hate to see teams be overwhelmed over a season, it looks like that's the way that's the direction it's going.
And what was the spread on this game?
Minus 13.5 for LA. I think it could be more than that.
Yeah.
So they should easily cover that.
I think Rams are going to cover.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to.
Now, even though you don't like going against any team giving up more than 10 points.
I don't, and that's kind of a rule. I think Stephen and you and I was pretty adamant about it, but I'm making an exception with this game simply because the Bengals just don't seem to know what's going on, and I'm very comfortable in making that prediction.
And then next game we got the Denver Broncos against the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. This one, Denver Broncos, their defense has been pretty decent as of late. Or no, in the 2 weeks before their game against the Chiefs, it looked pretty solid. And then when they played the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football, it was really rough. And not something that you can blame their defense on, but really it's just their offense that they keep putting them back out on the field because they just can't get any traction there.
Well, who's the Broncos quarterback? The guy they got from
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. Yeah. He hasn't been as good. I thought it was a good pickup because he's been a pretty steady quarterback throughout his career. Not so much this year. He's been wishy-washy. So, who do everybody pick?
We all went out on Indianapolis on that one.
Yeah, I like Indianapolis as a home team.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah, no. I honestly believe throughout every single season, some teams have other teams' numbers, and I remember the first game of Andrew Luck being with Indianapolis going against Denver in Denver. I thought this is going to be a slaughter. Elway's going to it's just going to be,
Game over.
And they got creamed.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it was 35-7. You guys can look that up. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that
we'll have our check factor look into that.
Yeah, but it was a slaughter, and I think they have a record on Denver, and it's a winning record. So yeah, I'm taking Indy all the way.
Yeah, and I like Indianapolis' quarterback, and like I said, they're at home. What is the spread on that game?
-6 for Indianapolis. That sounds about. Actually, I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about how you like the quarterback. I do too. He was really put in a random situation out of nowhere. Andrew Luck retires right before the season starts, and he's like, "Oh well, I guess I got to be the man now for this team." And he has been. He's been really good.
Just on a side note, I was just wondering, Stephen and Martin, do you think Andrew Luck might come back? There's rumors that he is. He's going to take a year off and maybe come back. Do you?
I wouldn't be surprised. He's young.
Yeah, he's still got so many years. He's still got prime in him, but I haven't really heard many rumors, so I'm gonna have to hear a lot more, rumbling around and
I like to hear something from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, or from guys like Adam Schefter, or I can't remember him right now, but just more sources on that. But no, he can easily come back if he wanted to. Yeah. Easily, someone will take him. Especially with the way it's been this year, so many quarterbacks getting hurt. Yeah. The league is desperate for quarterbacks.
Actually, I was surprised he retired because he had such good protection last year. I don't know how many times he got, which we should know this, but I didn't think we were going to talk about this subject, so we didn't really look it up. But he got sacked probably some of the fewest in the NFL besides old Brady Boy. So
Brady Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Could he get hit much?
That's a good point.
All right, so then next up we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. This is a pretty hard decision to make because Tennessee, they've been really inconsistent this year.
Yeah, who are they playing? Tennessee and who?
And Buccaneers.
Another team that's
Buccaneers.
also
they're a yo-yo team, man. I mean, they get their ass kicked by the Niners, and then they kill the Rams. I mean, come on, how long is the string they got? Winston, flip a coin with that guy every game.
I think I took Tennessee on that. Simply because, like my brother Martin pointed out, you just never know from Sunday to Sunday which Buccaneer team's going to show up.
Yeah, no, and then Tennessee, you know, like I said,
they're in Tennessee.
Yeah, they've been inconsistent as well. You know, 2 weeks ago they benched Mariota, and they've had Tannehill in. You know, Tannehill, he used to be the starter for the Dolphins until he tore his ACL, and then he wasn't really active since then. But he's had his first start against the Chargers last week, and he threw for over 300 yards, a couple of touchdowns, I believe, and you know that really impressive.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you know, a Chargers team that's like they don't know what they want to be yet. It also still was a lucky win as well. You know, as the Chargers last week, they fumbled at the 1 yard line with less than a minute to go.
Yeah.
And who do we have?
We all had Tennessee winning this one, but the spread is plus 2.5 for Tampa Bay.
Did anybody go with Tampa Bay in the spread?
Well,
no.
You know, whenever I hear of a home team getting less than 3 points, I have to wonder if the Vegas odds are not sure about a victory, then it's pretty much up in the air. But I think
Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, we got Arizona Cardinals in New Orleans against the Saints. That seems pretty easy to make. You know, even though the Cardinals' offense has been picking up with Kyler Murray, it just doesn't feel like it'll be enough against New Orleans since they've been able to find a way to play both offense and defense.
And what was
year.
What was the spread on that particular game?
Plus 10.5 Arizona.
10.5.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well,
I like the way the guy from New Orleans has stepped up.
Bridgewater, yeah, I was going to talk about that. You know, like, it was a week 2 or week 3, what's his name, Drew Brees, injured his thumb. You know, people start panicking about the season. You know, they lost that game against the Rams 20-9, I believe. And so, you know, it's like, oh, Bridgewater hasn't played in a while. You know, he did, have, one little start in, a week 17 game last year. But either way, it's like, how's he going to do? Can he show signs of life for this team? And he's done much more than that to me.
Well, I also tend to root against any NFL quarterback that chooses football over baseball. Tom Murray. Tom Murray.
You can choose whatever sport you want to play, but it's the method that Kyler Murray chose. I think we all take this a little more personally since he was supposed to go to the Oakland Athletics. But either way, no.
There we go.
And practically took $3 million from them as well. But no, that was a completely, not inappropriate, but immature move from him, especially when he was kept being sly about it, wasn't answering any questions, was very ambiguous about everything, went to the very last second.
You knew he was going.
Yeah.
He's a bum.
So now we got the Los Angeles Chargers against the Chicago Bears. The spread on that is +4 Chargers.
Okay.
So this one is where we kind of differentiated on the picks because you two both went with Chicago, and I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one.
And they're in Chicago.
Yes.
Well, could I just ask? I'm just curious because
spitball. Spitball.
No, I mean everybody expected. I expected. I shouldn't speak for the general public. I thought that the Chargers would come out spitting nails. I really did.
Oh, we all did.
And they just seem to. So why? What is your motivation for Chargers this week?
I think they have to bounce back. I feel like, with the way their season's going, well, both these teams have their backs towards the wall. Bears could honestly be the worst team in their division right now. And same for the Chargers. If Broncos start picking up, then the Chargers will be the worst team in their division as well. And they've had such high expectations. But definitely what hurt them this year was the holdout with Melvin Gordon. Even Melvin Gordon said last week that he regretted doing that holdout, and he said he'll never do anything like that ever again. Of course, people say things, you never know if they're really going to stay true with their word, but I, as of now, believe what Melvin Gordon said, and maybe he can use that as motivation to bounce back. As I said earlier, against the Tennessee Titans, he, totally blew the game by fumbling at the 1 yard line with less than a minute to go. That would have given them the lead.
Yeah, well, I'm picking Chicago basically because they got their starting quarterback back, and he's not a good quarterback, but he didn't turn the ball over. And with the Bears' defense, they just have to play good defense and not turn the ball over. They'll get their points, here and there, but I think they're good enough to beat Chargers.
Yeah, I think their defense is going to be the make or break, and I don't disagree with my brother as far as the quarterback. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's a quarterback that gets the job done.
He's suitable.
He's adequate. Okay, he's adequate, and in the 2019 NFL, if you're adequate, you have a better chance. You do have a good chance of getting the job done.
All right, and then we got the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who did we on that last game though? Who do we have?
Oh,
spread was.
Oh, so the spread was +4 Chargers.
And we all went with.
I went with the Chargers, and both of you went with Chicago.
We went with Chicago.
Okay, so we kept our original.
Yeah. And so next up was the Eagles against the Bills in Buffalo.
I was talking to you earlier, and you brought it to my attention that they fell to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
Sunday.
badly.
And badly. Okay, all right. You know what? Okay, I'm a Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to win this game, and that's what I have to say about that.
And what's the spread?
The spread is, let's see here, -1.5 Buffalo. So, they do think that this will be a close game.
And you like Buffalo.
Yeah, I like Buffalo in this one. Yeah, in Buffalo, they're pretty good at home.
Too. I picked Buffalo, right?
Yeah. And, their defense has been really good this year. Although I was a little concerned with how they played against the Dolphins, allowing 21 points against the Dolphins.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Fluke. Dolphins don't want to win.
Yeah. Although I did like that play from Micah Hyde. They tried to do an onside kick, and Micah Hyde does a spin move, catches it while spinning around, and then runs it back for a touchdown. Of course, we're not going to see that again for a while. And of course, if it was against a different team, he's not going to do a play like that.
Yeah.
He knew that
the
against
fact
Miami.
that he had the balls to do it, though.
Oh yeah,
you gotta love it. I mean,
applaud you, man. But the reason why I want to go with Buffalo is not only because of defense, but I think because of how bad Philadelphia's defense is. I think defense is what makes the difference for this game.
Give you that.
Anything else you want to put in, Dan?
No.
All right. So then we got the Giants against the Lions in Detroit. The spread on that one is -7 Detroit. I would go. Yeah, they could cover that. I would have said -10.
Detroit, right?
Yeah, we all went with Detroit on that one. Yeah. They're Giants. They really had a messy offseason last year. Daniel Jones, he's okay. You gotta give him a lot of slack since it's his first year, and he's had a lot of hate coming towards him ever since he joined the NFL. And it's not even his fault, honestly. It's mainly the fault of the general manager of the Giants because he had so much faith in, after trading Odell Beckham Jr., saying all this stuff about Daniel Jones and other things that he said that some people find idiotic.
Yeah. I like the Giants quarterback. He's much better than Manning, as far as I'm concerned. Manning's over the hill.
I'll tell you, though.
And the Giants also got Barkley back. So, you know what? I think it might be closer than we think. It'll be a close game either way, though.
Yeah. And you have my thoughts on this game. But I will tell you heard it here on
First time, heard to hear.
on Steven's on my nephew Steven's podcast.
Okay.
Manning will be back for the last 3 games because the quarterback they have is adequate.
The only way Manning's getting back in the game is if the guy breaks his leg.
Yeah.
They are going to just coast, and I believe that the Giants management is going to give the last 3 games to Eli and let him retire as a soldier. And
soldier.
No, hey, I do.
Shoot that dude.
And of course, I could be. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong simply because I don't see the Giants winning any more games. I don't. I just don't.
They won a game so far, haven't they?
2.
They won the game that he premiered in
Initially.
and they've won since. But I don't see them winning anymore.
I don't really see them winning much either through this season. They can have some close ones, but that's pretty much it. And with Detroit, I really like Matthew Stafford. He's a really good quarterback. They kept it close with Minnesota for a while. The scores doesn't say as much as it should. 42-30 for Minnesota, but Detroit, they stayed in that game for a long time.
Well, Detroit Stafford, he's been so wishy-washy the last he had a decent year last year. Years previous, you couldn't depend on him, but he's had a nice bounce back year.
Now he's a soldier because he's battled through lots of injuries. You ever years ago he
took a beating too, man.
No, he took a hard hit to the shoulders where he's limping on the field, and they're counting down seconds left in the game, and he does a quarterback scramble to win it. While he's just limping over in so much pain. That takes a lot to do.
And the other team could have been worried about hitting him. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no! They hit him hard.
I know.
All right. So next up, we got the Jets versus the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Seeing the crap show, Sam Darnold from Monday Night Football.
A 4 quarterback rating, the lowest ever recorded.
I believe you said, what was Brett Favre's jersey number?
Yeah.
And I said, really?
4.
Really?
That was his quarterback rating.
Yeah.
No, that was not a good game. And
87 yards, I do believe. Maybe 89.
87.
89.
Yeah, right the first time.
Either way, it sucked.
Yeah. 2-yard difference,
32 passing attempts, 87 yards.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. Sorry.
Yeah, it was. What can you say?
No, I definitely do feel bad for him, because there was some anger over ESPN recording him saying, "I'm seeing ghosts out on the field." But either way, you got to play better than that. Still, Patriots have a really good offense, but, that just, man, that was hard to watch. So, and then Jacksonville, there's a lot of hype going around Gardner Minshew ever since he had to step in for Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Honestly, Gardner Minshew, there's a lot of effort out there, but I just still don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
He's competent, He
nice
has
mustache.
Yes, it reminds me of
And
Daniel
why
Mangden.
is that such a big
stylish.
deal? I ever hear all this about the mustache. I don't get it.
I'm jealous, I think, because I've never been able to grow one. So
I don't think I ever will.
I've never been able to grow one myself. You're right, but I still don't get it.
Next week on Mustache Talk.
As far as the Jaguars are concerned, I picked them for this week, and I would because I think they're on a roll, and the competition they have this week, they're going to win. They're going to win handily. Yeah.
All right, and so
what's we all went with
-6 Jacksonville.
And we all went with Jacksonville.
Yeah, they should cover that easily. And next up, then Seattle in Atlanta. So Seahawks versus Falcons. So Wilson did have a really rough game last week. They lost 30-13 against the Baltimore Ravens. He threw his first interception of the year, which was a pick six. That definitely changed the way the game was going. But Wilson has been great all year besides that game, so I'm pretty sure he's going to easily bounce back and have a great one against the Falcons, especially since they're not good either.
I think the Falcons quarterback is out too, huh?
Yeah, he's going to be out. So basically, they're going to smash.
He's got a broken wing.
Yeah, and Falcons are just when I think of Ravens, I think of defense. I think of just powered defense, and for Seahawks to even survive that, come out victorious, amazing.
Wait, which game?
The Seahawks and Ravens.
Oh yeah, that one. The Seahawks got killed.
Okay.
I don't think Atlanta's ever recovered from
the Super Bowl.
Honestly.
No.
Ravens, Seahawks.
Yeah, it was 30-13 Ravens.
This last week?
Yeah.
Well, I apologize to this audience because I was under the impression it was a close game. So I don't know what I was.
It was a close game when it started.
When opening kickoff, it was 0-0.
My
goodness.
If you're part of a team that sucks, just remember at the first play of the game, or at least most of the time, your team is there.
Yeah.
They're in there.
You're in there.
Then after that, it goes downhill.
Yeah.
But no, I think. Oh, what do you have to say about it?
Done saying.
Yeah, it took Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks.
Yeah, and they didn't have a spread on that one actually, which surprised me.
Oh, that was the game they didn't. Okay, there was one game that there was no spread.
Yeah. Then we got the Carolina Panthers against the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. That's going to be a good game.
Oh, it'll be a good game. They shocked the hell out of me. I didn't think their defense was going to be this good, but,
If I am any other NFL team...
playing tough, and I hate the Niners.
If I am any other NFL team, I'm going to want to take notes on what the Niners have planned for Christian McCaffrey. Because they have easily the best, or at least the second best defense in the NFL. And Christian McCaffrey has been on a complete tear this season. He's been in many MVP conversations. I want to know what they're going to do against him.
Well, if they spend too much effort in trying to stop him, they're going to open up other players. So that might work. He might not get any yards rushing or passing, but they're going to use a lot of energy to control him. And it might open up the rest of the offense.
That's the thing, though, is they found a way to be good against the pass offense and the rushing offense, the Niners this year. So, that's why their defense is so scary. But when it comes to their offense, though, I think the Panthers do have a pretty good defense, I believe. And his
quarterback is taking over Newton. He plays pretty solid.
Oh, yeah. 4-0 or 5-0, I believe. It hasn't lost yet.
Yeah. Cam is waiting in the wings.
Oh, actually,
please get hurt.
It's like maybe a quick note on that. What do you do with Newton when he's healthy?
He's healthy now. They're not going to take out the guy who hasn't lost yet.
So do you just let him waste away on the bench, or do you look?
He's not wasting away. He's just waiting his turn. That's why you see he's in his mind. He's going, please get hurt. Please get hurt.
He's a professional. He knows what's going on. I mean, I don't expect it to be an issue. He's ready, like Martin said. He's ready now. He can play now.
Please get hurt.
You got to go with.
No matter. Oh. All right. So aside if there's any little cut there, but either way, that's pretty much all we had to say about the Carolina and San Francisco game. So next up, we got the Cleveland Browns against the New England Patriots. And you know what, guys? I got a good feeling about the Browns winning this one. Psych! No, I do not. I was going to say just psych. No, I do not believe that at all. Browns have been so disappointing this year. I had so much hope for them. It's like, they got Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, a team up that we've wanted to see for so long. Baker Mayfield, someone on the come up. None of that has happened this year. Big disappointment. What do you guys got to say about that?
I think I took New England to win, but I don't think that New England's going to cover. So I took Cleveland Browns on the points.
What was the spread?
The spread is plus 13 Cleveland.
Yeah, and you know me about the over 10 thing. I think 10 points in the modern NBA NFL era is
preposterous.
Preposterous.
You can say preposterous.
Did they cover the spread?
What I put?
I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
I say they cover it.
I think they'll cover it, but you know what? The whole thing about Cleveland, they sucked for so many years, and they had to. How many games did they win last year?
6 or 7.
Yeah, everybody's expecting a miracle. No, they're still a mediocre team.
They don't know how to develop.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, no team is going to go undefeated. This just might be New England's first loss. Again, you've heard it on Stephen Avalos' podcast.
This could be their first loss.
My brother's so wrong.
I think the reason why they'll cover the spread, not because the Patriots are going to score a lot of points, but because Cleveland will score so little. They're against
New England's has tough defense.
Tough defense. Although, then again, they haven't had real challenges, but Cleveland, they've been really disappointing.
Cleveland has a good defense, too. Okay.
Good.
All right.
But actually...
those of you listening, just please remember, where you heard it.
Oh, we'll remember.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, we've got to mention the spread
about next week
for Carolina. So the spread on Carolina is it's +5 Carolina against San Francisco, which I agree with. I think that sounds about right. All right, so the next game we got here, this one a little hits home, literally. Oakland versus Houston.
In Houston.
So Raiders did come off a devastating loss to the Green Bay Packers. In the first half, it looked like they were going to find a way to make this a shootout. Then Carr tries to go for a touchdown, running it, decides not to put two hands on the ball, which was very familiar to 2017 when he did that against the Dallas Cowboys and did the same exact thing where he fumbled it through the end zone and lost the game.
He needs bigger hands. Bottom line.
But I'll tell you, that aside, Texans defense,
Actually,
it's at Texans.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
Raiders haven't played a home game in a month.
Yeah, no, Steve. That's eventually going to do a lot to them. But I'm going to check really quick. I'm going to try to keep talking, though. I don't think the Texans' defense has been as that good. I know they just lost one of their main cornerbacks to a high ankle sprain. I think he might be out for the rest of the year. They're going to be missing Will Fuller, one of their best wide receivers. They still got DeAndre Hopkins, who is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL.
I think also the Raiders have been wishy-washy as well. They're just so undependable. You think when you think they're on a high, they're on a low. They end up doing, they're hard to figure out.
No, this is still a really young team. But yeah, either way, let's see. I'm trying to find anything that might give me information on. No. All right, so I was doing some quick research on Houston's defense. So when it comes to passing yards per game, they rank as one of the worst teams. Of course, below them is the Oakland Raiders. Not hard to tell. But yeah, I don't think their defense is really that good on the pass, and they're below average against the rush. And the Raiders have a really good rushing offense this year. So passing, but the rush has been, one of their biggest strengths, or not, if not their biggest strength so far this year with Josh Jacobs.
What is the spread? What is the?
It is +7 Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah, so even though Houston's ranked low on passing defense, like I said, the Raiders have been so wishy-washy offensively and defensively.
Oh, not even wishy-washy, it's just consistently bad.
I think you just said it right there. They're hard to even pick either or, but I do believe I did go with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, you went with the Raiders, and
I think I
went with
yeah.
Yeah, we went with the Texans. I
Traders.
want to say
Traders.
Well, I got to tell you, in a venue like this.
You mean my house?
Yeah. No, I'm saying on this podcast, which is completely unaffiliated with anything other than Bay Area sports. The host and his uncle feel that you don't know what you're talking about. And it's just,
that's cool.
I can't see a way that the Raiders can win this game. If they can, one thing that they've done well so far is possession of time. and finding balance within their offense. Because
possession time, they got the most watches.
No, how long they hold the ball for.
Oh, okay. Time of possession.
Yeah, because they have a
Okay.
time. Oh,
I
not
thought you
bad.
were talking about, everybody's got watches.
But either way, their rushing offense has been really good this season. Like I said, their biggest strength. And when you have a good rushing offense, you have the ball for a long time. You create long drives. You take down a lot of minutes and such. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And then
Longer that you have the ball, less they do.
and I think it's helped out Carr as well. He hasn't been able. He hasn't been asked a lot so far. It's not like he's had to really put on a big show except for Green Bay.
He's asked to win.
Yeah.
He's done a good job at it.
He's done good or hasn't?
Job at it.
I think he's just done enough, in my
Do you
opinion.
think this year is? Do you think this year is
Comparable to last year?
No, I think what I was going to ask our
He
host
took a
was.
step back.
What I was going to ask our host was, do you think that what you've seen from Carr this year, is this a step up, the same, or do you think he's got something there?
I think Gruden's going to stick with him going into Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I think the relationship that they have so far has been working out pretty well, and Carr, he's doing everything that he can to make sure he's on, Gruden's good side. Not like, not a goody two shoes.
That they're getting Cam Newton?
Oh, geez, no. I remember hearing someone say that, and oh my goodness. Someone on a talk show was talking about how, they should try to trade for Cam Newton and get rid of Carr, and I thought, okay, no. Cam Newton will not fit.
Say that, but I don't think he's as good a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Very simple.
Which Carr are we talking about? We're talking about Carr last year or this year? Last year he was awful.
No, this year he shows promise.
He's taken.
He leads the NFL
up.
in completion percentage,
Yeah.
and decent in yards. It's
I mean,
enough.
nothing is. He's doing a lot of dinks.
It's funny. We talk about, as you said, he's got percentage-wise completion.
What is yards per?
Well,
per reception?
I'll tell you right now. I remember Jay
Schrader.
I remember Jay Schrader getting on a bus years ago, and as they were interviewing, he was going on the bus. I've got the number one pass completion percentage in the league, and he did. As bad as he was, he did have that.
And what that mean?
It meant nothing. I mean, he couldn't win. I'm not saying that with Carr. I'm not. I really am not. I think he's having a great year this year.
I'll say it.
No, I don't. I think Carr's having a good year.
Yeah,
And I think it's going to continue to improve. Compared to anything. He's at pure and simple, Carr is having a good year.
No, I think
better than his broken leg year.
Oh no, even his broken leg year, he was.
No, I mean him with the broken leg.
Oh jeez. No, I have faith in Carr. I think Gruden's keeping him. Carr will improve the season. His passer rating.
I think Gruden doesn't have a choice.
His passer rating, this season, 4 out of his 6 games, he's had a passer rating well over 100.
Yeah, well,
which is that's really good. The other two, one was in the 90s and one against Kansas City was in the 60s. But so basically, besides his game against Kansas City, he's been good based on passer rating.
We're getting on a little bit of a Raider tangent here because we're all passionate fans about the Raiders.
Yeah, we should probably skip over this now.
See, I'm not. I can speak of the Raiders now completely, absolutely, objectively because they left us again, and I'm old enough to remember them leaving us in the 80s. I speak of the Raiders now. I like them when they win, of course. I would not wish them ill at all, but I'm not a fan that I was.
Speaking of also Raiders and great Raiders at that, the passing of Willie Brown.
The passing of Willie Brown. My goodness. When I heard it through my family's text. And they were all just amazing text. And when I found out he passed, the first thing, how can you not think, the first thing that you think about when you think of Willie Brown is his interception against Minnesota in the Super Bowl, him running down the sideline, and the commentator saying, old man Willie, and God, if you're a Raider fan, you have to have that vision in your head of that moment.
Oh, he was a class act as well. He never talked smack.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of these lunch pail type guys where he'd take his lunch pail to work, and
And he did revolutionize the game
true,
a bit when he
true
played.
professional, every sense of the word.
He revolutionized the game when he played. He invented I forgot what the term was, but it's like when you basically hit the receiver and then start defending. That way your receiver doesn't have any chance to get by you or get a good route.
Oh, he started to bump.
The bump and
Bump at
run.
the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started that, and
He
Of course,
made it into an art.
50 plus interceptions in his career.
I wasn't around when he played, but when I was becoming a big football fan, I wanted to look into the Raiders' history, and easily my favorite player was Willie Brown, and of course you mentioned earlier was that call during the Super Bowl when they first won it was he's going all the way, old man Willie.
Right.
That was
Right.
How do you not get behind that?
And a classic NFL film where they show him running towards the camera or running towards
Oh
the
yeah,
end zone.
such
at the
good
camera,
footage right there.
Yeah.
Slow motion.
And
Yeah.
I remember that Super Bowl. I was in Jack London Square, and at a bar, nightclub,
You drank?
and I drank. Yes,
Okay.
I drank profusely, I believe.
Wow.
And I remember
First
that,
time I'm learning this. by
I
the way.
remember that. The whole Super Bowl, that whole 76 or 77. What was it?
6. I do believe.
76.
Yeah.
Super Bowl what?
It's hard to for
76.
me. It was a year of 75 or
I think it was
like
76 trombone. Of course, it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with football, but a movie.
But
Music Man, I do believe. Anyway.
My goodness, he was a class act, and he's going to be missed completely. He's
Yeah, R.I.P.
absolutely missed.
Yeah. All right, so we still have a few more games to do. It's the Packer so going to the primetime now. Packers and Chiefs. Now the interesting headline with this game is, last week, Patrick Mahomes, he dislocated his knee, and I thought oh man, this could be the year for him. When I first saw him on the field and then went to commercial break, then when they went back from commercial break, he was already walking down the sideline. I'm thinking is he gonna come back into this game? I mean, he didn't come back in this game, and then they say, oh, he's gonna be out for he's gonna be out for 3 weeks, and it's okay.
Well, he said up to 8. I thought.
Oh no, they said 3 weeks. They said they got the best case scenario from him.
Okay.
And now at this point they say he could come back this week already to face the Packers.
He's still not officially off the roster. So
Would you guys play him?
No.
Joe?
no.
They still have a great shot at winning the division this year.
Why risk it?
Well,
Yeah.
being a Raider fan, I hope he does play and hurts himself
Sure,
again.
but
I, on the other hand, don't wish ill on any players.
I'm just kidding about that, folks. I want to get hurt, just not bad. Maybe
What'd
out
you have
for
to
2
say?
weeks.
no, I'm hoping that they have the sense, forethought to just rest him until he's ready to go, because he's not ready to go.
He'll say he's ready.
Like everybody here in this room saw, they literally on the ground while he was injured put his kneecap back into place. I saw it. Everybody saw it. And you're not going to tell me, I don't care how young or old you are, or what kind of fighter you are, competitively speaking, you're not ready. You're not ready. He needs another week. And
Even two.
I hope they give it to him. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope they give it to him. Yeah.
And even so, with predicting this game, by the way, the spread
We
is
all went with the Packers.
yeah, we all went with the Packers is -4 for Green
Yeah.
Bay. Even if Mahomes played and had a good game, I don't think it's going to be enough against
And
the
they're playing
Packers.
Green Bay.
Packers have a decent defense. Chiefs don't. And Aaron Rodgers coming off a 5-touchdown, 400-yard game.
Yeah, but that was against the Raiders.
Yeah, but you know what?
But then again,
you know what? That's you're right. You're right. But when you have a game
Everybody's
like that,
stats are going to be padded against.
no,
the
when you
Raiders.
have a game like that, you are on a roll, as they say, and I think they are highly motivated in this game, and I think that is going to have an effect on.
No, but you know what? Your
And-
NFL players, you should be highly motivated every damn week.
No,
And then
you are.
Kansas City, though, their defense is not that much of a level up between them and the Raiders. That's another thing.
Yeah.
And especially if your offense is going to be that good, then they're going to have to go out on the field a lot more. So you're going to ask more of them
I think
this week.
if they use the substitute guy,
Matt
20
Moore.
point, Matt Moore, whatever his name is, he's there. They'll lose by 20.
That's a killer game.
Yeah.
Raiders lost by less than 20. I think they lost by
Woo,
18.
Believe
So-
me, that is no consolation.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Keyword, trying. No, but yeah, either
They're
way.
trying my patience is what they're doing.
Yeah, either way, we're going to go with Green Bay on this one pretty easily.
Yeah.
And so, ending off the week with a really competitive one right here. Miami and Pittsburgh.
Woo! Wow. What was the spread on that, Steve?
Minus 14.5 Pittsburgh.
Okay. We think we're gonna take Pittsburgh
in Miami?
to win.
In Pittsburgh.
And then I'm taking Miami on the points.
I
If
that
they get up by 10,
Uncle
10,
Joe's
12,
10-point rule.
they're
In
going to
effect.
take starters out. They're going to, they don't want to mess with that. So no, Steelers are going to win the game. Will they cover? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Pittsburgh should easily win, but I don't think they'll cover the spread. I think Miami might find a way to get some good offense in. Of course, they'll never get good enough offense. Defense will be leaky as usual. Dad, anything you want to say?
Both shitty teams. I mean, bad teams.
We'll find a way to blur
But
that out.
don't. I mean, you know what? Do
It's
you
not even,
agree?
I'm not even interested in that. Game.
Okay, but do you agree? This is not even talking about those two teams. Do you agree that two bad teams playing each other makes a good game?
No, not at all.
Really?
No. I wouldn't want to
More
watch
laughable. That way you can just laugh at both teams thinking,
That.
You know what?
I wouldn't want to bet on that
I
game.
mean-
I wouldn't want to watch that game.
only if you're a
I
fan.
wouldn't watch that game if I bet on it. How does that sound?
I have found
I take that back.
I have found that two bad teams playing make for at least a good game because they're both
two bad
inept.
teams.
No, they're both inept, and
Fumble.
and you're gonna have a
59 reception
but if
fumble.
the score is 17-10 at the end, that was a good game
For who?
for the winner, obviously. But
Yeah, thank
I'm just
you. Not
saying
me.
for the
No, that's an interesting little
We-
topic right there.
we differ.
So, in other news besides Week 8 of all these games here, on October 29th is the deadline for the NFL, the trade deadline, to be more exact. And the Raiders, it looks like they're going to be buyers. They're 3-3 team, might be 4-3 or 3-4, depending on how the game goes against Houston. I'm taking 3-4, but it looks like they're going to be buyers and go for it, especially since their schedule gets much easier and they're going to actually have some home games.
In my opinion, I think the Raiders have already sold out the city of Oakland, so I don't give a crap what they do.
Well, I'm not going to be as blunt as my brother, but I too, being a veteran of their first departure to L.A.
Me as well.
And I stayed with them. I wore the T-shirts. Never will I say L.A., but I still rooted for them. And when they came back, nobody was overjoyed than myself and my brothers. But this is just one move too many. I don't believe that I have no more. I have no more to give to the Raiders as far as my emotions and my support. Or anything else for that matter. So I'm going to defer to you, Stevie. I know that you have strong feelings about the Raiders. So,
Well, before we get Steven giving his opinion on the trade deadline, since we've already started on this little tangent about the Raiders, their move to Vegas is going to end up being a joke for them. They've lost any kind of home field advantage that they had in Oakland because any team that will go to Vegas, it will be a vacation for them. It's like, okay, our team is playing the Raiders this year. They're going to thousands upon thousands of teams from Tennessee, Dallas, wherever the hell, are going to want to go to Vegas and cheer on the team against the Raiders and vacation and gamble as well. So it's going to be a 50-50 crapshoot every time they play a home game.
I think normally, Martin, I would agree with you. And you're right on all of your points, except you do have the wild card of the franchise that the Knights that started in Vegas, and they're already world champions in the hockey world. So I honestly don't think that because they go to Vegas and they've lost home field, which they did, and everything means that they're going to be a franchise in distress. I think that maybe over time, hell, it might even be the first year. I think that I just don't think that that's necessarily a killer. That's all.
Those are some good points. I'm not really going to go too much into that. I'm just going to, go straight into the trade deadline talks.
What's the matter?
Just, the meaning of this was to go into the trade deadline.
Yeah, I know, but your opinion on the whole thing.
I'm anxious to hear your opinion because I know you to be
semi-intellectual person.
Well, no, not only that, but you're knowledgeable, and I know that you have your heart into this. So please, tell me what your heart says.
As one of the biggest Raider fans I know.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it's disappointing that they're leaving Oakland. It just feels like nothing ever. You can never really say, "Oh yeah, I want my team to leave." You never want that. It especially hurts. I didn't get to experience the first time they left. Thank goodness, but of course I'm still having that experience in general with them moving to Vegas. And I do see your point with, they'll never have home field advantage again. But then again, isn't this franchise known for having well-traveling fans?
Every week.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and...
Yeah, but you're talking a couple thousand fans. And how many places, how many what's your attendance will be in Vegas?
The attendance? Oh, it's going to be gigantic there. So, yeah, I do see what you mean there. But I think they're going to be able to develop a fan base there. I think they'll find a way. Yeah. But it will leave many feeling alienated, nonetheless.
Yeah.
But no matter what happens, though, I'm going to stick with them. Unless they personally talk to me and say, "Oh, yeah, we don't like you," I'm going to stick around with them.
Steven, we don't like you.
But see, that's how I feel, though. I feel that they have said that to me. And I think my brother feels the exact same way, and I know my brother Philip feels the exact same way. They did, by their actions, say that fans like us...
Mark Davis.
Fans like us mean nothing to their organization.
Oh, Mark Davis did this, as well as Al Davis.
Yeah.
But to a team member, all of them would rather stay in Oakland. They're getting sold out by the organization. I'm going to always be a Raider fan. I'm going to watch the Raider games.
I just think...
I just won't go.
I'm going to think more about the players and the organization easily.
Well, see, that was my argument when they first moved to L.A. Everybody would say, "How can you follow those traitors?" And I would say, with pride, I don't root for Al Davis or the organization. I root for the players. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. But see, now that I went through that whole phase, now it is the organization, and they have slapped me in the face again, and it's time for me to wash my hands out. And I'm right with my brother. I'll watch them. I'm never going to buy another Raider shirt. I'm never going to buy anything having to do with the Raiders. But they will always be in my heart. They'll always be, silver and black.
So, anyways, back to talking about the trade deadline here. It looks like the Raiders are going to be buyers. And two of the main targets they've been looking at, they've mostly been looking at defense because that's been their biggest need all season. Their main defender looks like it's going to be Ryan Kerrigan, who's a linebacker for the Redskins. They could easily get him for cheap, although I think he's owed like like 9 to like 11 million for the year. So you're going to buy into that contract. And then another player they're looking at, which surprised me a bit, but I would like nonetheless, is Robbie Anderson, who's one of the receivers for the New York Jets, really young too. I'm down for either of these trades, honestly.
Why would the Jets give him up if he's a good receiver?
Because they're tanking. Actually, they're not tanking.
Not yet, but you're close. They're close. So I can see them getting rid of them, of course.
But the Raiders aren't. It doesn't look like they'll give up anything higher than the 3rd round pick. Or they might even try to... Yeah, 3rd round pick was going to be their ceiling for what they're willing to give up.
Well, there aren't too many successful 3rd round picks to begin with, so they should need to be giving up nothing.
Basically. But either way, I just... either trades, I would think they should emphasize more on defense for this deadline, because I think the offense, they've already been really good so far this season, so defense seems like the place to go. And so for our next topic, we're going to talk about the World Series so far. So Game 3 actually just ended, and the Astros won that one 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Other 2 games, though, it's really been going the Nationals' way. You know, we got 2 really great, likely future Hall of Famers, Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander, getting smacked by the Washington Nationals. Don't you both agree?
Yeah, handily, and in their own yard, which was kind of ironic today because they had Greinke on the mound.
He's steady,
I believe, steady.
Yeah.
And a home game, and you would think coming home with winning 2 away, you would think they would be so fired up, but they did not look fired up tonight.
Well, they had plenty of men on base. They just couldn't.
Granted, yes, but yeah,
that always hurts.
Yeah. And by the way, you forgot to say, you didn't say his full name. Justin 0-5 in the World Series, Verlander.
Took that stat away from me. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Good job, though.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, no, Verlander, I think out of all the Astros players, he would definitely be my favorite. But no, that is a startling
revelation.
Statistic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said he was your favorite. Is that what you said? Your favorite?
Out of the Astros, he would be my favorite.
Verlander?
Yeah. Who's your favorite then?
Put you up for adoption. What?
No, who's your favorite Astro be?
I don't have a favorite Astro. Reddick. Okay, Reddick. XL Conde. That's it.
Okay. Joey?
I don't have a favorite Astro. I'm not generally a
baseball fan.
I'm a Giant fan. I was an A's fan growing up. When I moved to Marin County in 2000, I waited till Barry Bonds was off the team, and then I was a Giant fan. Much to the chagrin of my brothers and sisters, an entire family, to be honest.
Yeah, I hate the Giants too.
Yeah,
so.
But you can ask me anything you want about the Giants or A's, but I don't have a lot to say about the.
What do you think about the Giants' color scheme?
The color scheme? What?
Yeah.
So random.
I think it's very Halloweenish.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And we're in the season.
Yeah.
So actually, it's quite apropos.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Well, back to the World Series.
Steven?
Yeah, we went off a little there, but for the World Series, I still feel pretty good for the Nationals. They're still going to have Scherzer, Strasburg, and those 2.
I think they're going to win the next 2.
And Washington won the hockey title 2 years ago. Yeah. I do believe. And things go in kind of streaks in cities. Remember when the
Oakland had it, and San Francisco had it, and
Penguins and Steelers won a couple years ago.
Yeah, you got a good point, actually.
When the A's won in the 70s, the Raiders won.
Yeah. And the Warriors won.
Yeah.
And they got Boston and then New England.
Between the Warriors and the Giants, the Bay Area had won 5 championships?
Yeah, we're at one time we were the hub of American sports.
And you also got last year New England winning Boston.
Yeah,
the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, and then the Red Sox winning the World Series. So yeah, that could be a
think I'd ever bring that up, did ya?
Nope. Good job.
Yeah.
See, that's why you're here.
Yeah, pull it out of my ass.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that the Nationals are going to they're not going to lose again.
And
wow, that's quite a statement.
No, not really.
I'm with that.
Yeah,
home field.
Really?
They got the home field for the next two games.
Again, I am not versed in baseball as far as now, especially the playoffs. I mean, I've probably seen enough of them. But now, the Nationals will have 2 more games at home before it goes back to the Houston.
Yeah, for 2 more games if necessary.
2-3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think they're going to lose again. I think they're going to win it here, and I'm not going to call tonight a fluke. I think both teams played well. As my brother said, Martin said, they left a lot of men on base. They had a lot of opportunities, just didn't fall their way tonight.
And to quote Pulp Fiction, check out the big brain on Joe. Anyway.
What'd you call it? Yeah, so I'm picking Nationals to win it in 5. I think that MVP of this will be Juan Soto, but some players I'm going to be really happy for if the Nationals do win this will be former Athletics Kurt Suzuki and Sean Doolittle. It would be really nice. I'm not going to count Rodney because he was just terrible in his at the start of this year.
He did pitch decent today.
No, he's pitched decent for them, but he didn't do that for us.
All he was crap.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to feel, want to root for him. But speaking of this whole World Series thing, with the Astros being involved, they've been involved in some controversy throughout the postseason. First off was the ALCS against the Yankees, where the Yankees accused them of stealing signs. Now, with that, I honestly didn't really see a big problem with that. I just think that, it was just, kudos to the Astros for being observational of what the Astros are doing.
Bravo. I couldn't agree with you more. I never understood the stealing of signs. Now,
unwritten rule.
Well, you see just about every professional sport, they cover their mouths. They do everything they can to prevent the other team from knowing what they're going to do.
Complicated hand signals from the coach to whatever player, touch it. Well,
and again, if they're so observational that they can figure it out, well, I'm sorry. Kudos to them. I mean, that's sportsmanship. As far as it's not cheating. That's sportsmanship. That's gamesmanship. Sorry, wrong word. Gamesmanship. There's a difference.
Well, the whole thing about, you see the batter up at the plate, and you see the catcher looking at the batter like, is he looking back at me? Dude, he's right behind you. You want to see where he's going to set up? Turn your head. I see nothing wrong with that. But then you get thrown at, and these unwritten rules in baseball are pretty ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, no, baseball that's one of the things that makes it infamous is that it has so many unwritten rules within it. We can go on about that forever.
You do something a certain way, it's like, you're insulting the team. You're
not
insulting tradition, the tradition of it all. Yeah, well.
But either way, the other controversy they have going on now is after they won the ALCS, to which Brandon Taubman, the assistant general manager, or former now, yelled about how much he loved having Ozuna in expletive fashion towards female reporters. One of them had a wristband, I believe, that symbolized, standing against domestic violence, and also wrote multiple articles about Roberto Ozuna. Now, you can say, oh, well, maybe he just really likes Ozuna, maybe he had a good game. Well, that's not what happened. Ozuna did not have a good game that day. He blew a 2-run lead and put his team in jeopardy of having to play Game 7 and lose their chance at playing in the World Series. So when that report came out, the Astros issued a statement talking about how, condemning Sports Illustrated. That's where the main reporter came from, Epstein, I believe her name is, or Epstein. They, talking about, they're very irresponsible. How dare they fabricate a story about a man who's going through some difficult times. Well, if you want to talk about difficult times, how about talk about the person who had to deal with his beatings? I can't tell if it was a wife or girlfriend. But either way, why can't we? Was that person not going through a difficult time? Why did they have to play the victim card for Ozuna here? And I just thought that was very disgraceful. And then, it was like, well, the reporter was able to end up getting sources that validated her story. It was true about what Taubman did. And the Astros gave an apology. Taubman gave an apology. That was met with backlash as it was viewed as tone deaf and just, completely, non-transparent. And so the day after, 1 or 2 days later, they announced that they're going to fire him, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the end of it. As later, another reporter came in to ask the GM, Lundhow, is he going to issue an apology to Epstein? And he said, well, I haven't gotten around to that yet. I'm busy. But the thing is, she was in the same exact room. All he had to do was just go up to her and apologize, be formal, just be a gentleman. And he couldn't even do that. And then he's asked again in the dugout by Epstein herself if he can retract what they tried to say about her earlier, trying to smear her story. He said he's not going to commit to anything yet. I just think that this is very disgraceful for the Houston front office. I know not everyone on that Houston roster was happy when they got Ozuna. As you know, early in that season during spring training, someone in their minor league roster was caught on tape beating his girlfriend on a staircase. Lots of the players tweeted about how they're upset about it, especially Verlander. He was one of the biggest critics of that. I think that, eventually they're probably going to let go of Ozuna after this because I just think he's so much luggage to have.
Well, they should let go of him after they won it the first time.
No, he wasn't there at the time. They traded for him.
When did they get him?
They got him in the trade deadline last year.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay.
He was suspended.
No, I don't. I'm sure I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, I'm telling you. He was suspended. He was suspended before when he was a member of the Blue Jays for 75 games for the domestic dispute. And they already claimed that they were going to be a zero-tolerance team towards domestic violence, and yet they still acquired him.
I don't understand why any athlete in any sport, once they're caught with their hand in the cookie jar, so to speak, why they can't just fess up, say, I'm sorry, and people have an amazing ability to forgive. They really do, if you think about it. If you think about what has happened in sports as far as domestic violence, the athletes that survive such a thing are the athletes that fess up to what they did and apologize sincerely.
Unless you're Robert Kraft, who gets caught in a massage parlor and the league does nothing to him. That's another tangent.
Well, again, it's you're right. That's part of the
landscape.
The landscape of ownership and. But
as
far as the athletes are concerned, though, if you've done something wrong or stupid or embarrassing or fess up, apologize. You're going to play another game. You're going to live to play another game, another day, maybe with another team in this case. But when you fess up, people have a way. They will forgive you. But if you don't, and you have this hard line that this man seems to take, as far as I don't have the time to, I haven't gotten around to it, apologizing. I'm gonna, but I'm just not there. That looks bad. It looks bad every single way you look at it. I couldn't agree with you more, Stephen.
And now the big question is, what's the MLB going to do about this? Is it going to carry it over into next season? Are they going to look into the general manager? We don't know that. But another question I have, too, is what if the Astros win? Imagine how awkward that's going to be when they go on stage.
They're not going to give a crap because they won.
No, but, everyone's
going to
look at them. They really
won't care because they won. Honestly, it's going to be blown over. I think.
I've heard that Donald Trump has already invited the gentleman to, whether they win or lose, to invite him to the White House just because he thinks he's a great guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Actually, the Nationals,
Great guy.
he's just messing around. But the Astros...
He was totally serious.
No. But I didn't mean to say the Astros. The Nationals, for Game 5, they're going to have... I forgot what his name was, but he's a Michelin star chef who did a lot of stuff for Hurricane Maria and such. He's going to throw out the first pitch.
I wish I could think of his name.
His name's Jose something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and...
amazing man.
Basically, I think you can tell that that's a bit of a jab towards Trump right there. You can't even, dispute that.
Trump is going to go to a Game 5, if there is one, he said, which I guess there is one, but he's not going to throw out he's not going to throw out a pitch. He does not want to throw out a pitch.
He's going to choose to get booed from the stands.
And then he's going to tweet about it later.
Yeah.
That's going to get everyone's
Haters.
attention.
Haters.
Then maybe Giuliani will be with him. He'll butt dial the FBI again somehow. But either way, that's a totally different
Yeah,
topic.
getting back to sports. Actually.
So
I
with
hear ya.
our closing topic here, the Warriors season opener. Rough.
to say the least.
Tweet.
But Kerr said, we're going to have games like this. We are
A lot of games
we
like
are
this.
a team. We are a team that is trying to
transition.
find itself again, and it's not going to be the same. Business as usual. Another win for the Warriors. No, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough going, and they might not even get Clay back this year. So I think that every Warrior fan listening to this podcast, take it with a grain of salt. They're gonna be a good team. Are they going to be world champions? Who knows? But I think they're going to be a good team. Why? Because they have one of the best coaches ever in Stephen Kerr.
Prediction.
And
Sorry.
yeah, no. My prediction is
How many wins?
40, 45.
I'll say 48.
Wow. 48. Wake up, Steven. No.
Well, when we do this
they're gonna get-
podcast again in 3 months, 4 months, I think Steve and I are gonna ask you about this once again.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the same answer. 37 games.
Well, no,
37.
we've already won our
So-
41st or 42nd. You won't be able to say that again.
No, they're gonna win 37 games.
So you don't think they're going to make the playoffs then?
No.
I think they'll make it within the 6th or 8th seed.
Warriors.
Actually,
the
yes.
Warriors are going to be competitive. They're going to be close in a lot of games. I just don't think they have the manpower to finish off games.
I think yesterday
Finish off
what
the
I saw, because we didn't suffer through the entire game. We
They were down by 20. We turned.
Right, yeah. What I saw is somebody mixing a stew and trying to get the ingredients right. And this was their first try. And it didn't work. They're going to have a lot of tries. And I believe early on, they are going to have a formula for winning. I honestly believe that in the depths of my soul.
Depths.
Depths of my soul.
My what do your
DEPTHS.
depths say, Steven?
I have no idea, but what I was going to say was my floor for this team this year
Your
is
floor?
basically the worst that can happen.
Okay.
40 wins or less. My ceiling, they make it into the second round.
Wow.
I think that sounds about right. The second round.
No, I just think that
I'm really
I think
surprised
they're
by
gonna-
your. I'm surprised by your. Not negativity.
Yeah, it's not negativity. I just don't
your
think
lack
they-
of
Hope.
hope. Yeah, great. Yeah,
they don't
great.
have
Lack of
the
hope.
firepower they had previously.
We
And
don't know
while-
that
while
yet.
other
Not
teams-
after one game. You're not going to know
No,
that.
I
You
know,
don't know
I know
that
the
yet.
roster. I know the roster.
And you think they're going to play like this?
There's
every
still a lot of
time.
young guys on that team that can develop. Of course, they're
They-
not going to be good at first.
Well, let me say that they will beat the teams they should beat, the lower class teams.
See, oh gosh, no.
But they won't. I mean, Lakers, the Milwaukee's don't have a chance. Philadelphia's, the Clippers, they're gonna have a hard time beating Utah. They don't. I mean, the manpower they used to have would dominate teams. They played so well together. This is a brand new team. It's gonna take them a month or two just to get acclimated to each other.
So you're talking 12 games, 13 games.
I say a couple months.
No, you said a month. I believe
said
he
2
just
months, I do
said.
believe.
I think you did say 2 months.
Thank you. I just say it's going to be a rough season, but they will be entertaining.
Yeah. No, and then it's not like it's going to be the end of everything.
They were down 15-0 yesterday, 11-0, 13-0.
It was 14-0 before they scored.
14-0.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they scored 10 straight. All D'Angelo Russell, which I think he's an incredible player.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
who wasn't scoring are regular scorers. I mean, Green wasn't scoring. Curry wasn't scoring. I mean, in the first quarter, they couldn't hit the side of a barn. So that's all. I mean, as far as your strong players and your weak players, no, it was a mess. It was the whole game was a mess, and that to me is a fluke. Yesterday was a fluke.
Well, when I mentioned yesterday, I said the Warriors are getting used to this arena. There's not quite a home field advantage, so to speak, home
Sure.
court
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
Because they've played there so little. They'll get better. I just don't think they're good enough.
Still not Oakland. Still not Oracle.
Yeah. Now it's the
But-
whole move. Boo. But I'll be going to games.
We all will.
Yep.
It's not like they're
Well,
leaving.
not Joe.
It's not like they're leaving the state. They're not leaving. As many, they started. When my father first started taking me to basketball games, we used to go to the Cow Palace to watch the San Francisco Warriors, and we had Thomas Sherry, and we had Clyde Lee, and all these different actually great players, Jeff Mullins and them, and they were great. They were great in San Francisco, and and this is beside everybody's point, but I was so hoping that when they went back to San Francisco and started playing in the Chase Center, that they would change again back to the San Francisco Warriors. I really did. I think it was because I think it's a strong. I have no identification with Golden State. I don't know what that means.
Golden State means Warriors.
Yeah, no, it means California is what it means, and you're never gonna. They're never gonna call them. They're never gonna call them the California Warriors, right?
They're not calling them the California Warriors.
That's what I just said. They are not
How many years
going.
they play in San Francisco?
Since their inception, I think back in 59.
How many years, Joey?
59.
What, 2 years?
69, 69,
2 years, 1 year?
69, 70, I think 12 years.
They were not in San Francisco for 12 years.
I believe so.
I believe you're wrong.
Well, we all have our
Well, they're going to
opinions.
be there
Fact
for
check, Steven.
they're going to be there for a while anyways, and yes, I will look into it.
They came from Philadelphia.
All right, so it turns out the Warriors came here came to San Francisco first in '62, then went to Oakland in '71.
Yes.
So I was wrong. I can
No,
admit it.
you weren't wrong.
No,
You were
yes,
just-
I was wrong.
No, you were mistaken.
It's still wrong.
Rub it in, please.
Anyway, I think the point is that they are in a new venue. They have a new team. It's going to take a while, maybe for the team to gel. But I don't think it's going to be as long as my beloved brother here thinks. I think they're gonna again. I'm going for 40 to 45 wins. I think they will go to the playoffs. My esteemed nephew thinks that they could. His high ceiling is second round, and so I like that.
Let me ask, who are the remaining players from last year? Green, Looney, Curry, Thompson's not playing. And they got rid of McKinnon.
McKinney, yeah.
McKinney. Green. That's it.
Okay, you got it. You have
Evans.
you have a
Jacob Evans, yeah, but
Jacob
he
Evans
played
played
garbage.
a couple
you
of
have
games.
you have
Yeah.
the best. You have one of the best guards in NBA history. You have one of the best defensive players in NBA history. You've got a coach. You have a coach out of the gate that has won 3 championships, and you're asking me what? Who's left?
You know what's
no.
the key word you said, Joey? One word. Had.
What do you mean?
I don't think you said
That's what they have.
No, you said had.
No.
Well, either way, we have lost a lot, and I think the biggest impact is supporting cast. It's going to be really young.
Bench, of course.
They're not going to know what to do in the beginning of the season, but I think they will eventually gel in. I think they'll have a rough start to the first half of the season, but in the second half, I think they're going to find a way to pull through and find to take it into the playoffs this year.
I think by the end, by Christmas, they're going to be who they are, and we'll be able to. I'd like to speak on this again around the holidays, Christmas time, when they. Honestly, I think it'd be a good spot in the season where we have a so much better idea of what direction the Warriors are going.
And I think at Christmas time, the world will be thinking about where they're going to take their vacation in the off season.
Okay, you heard it here on Steve Avalos' podcast.
Yep. So that pretty much closes it out today. Really, my opinion on all that we've done today, the thing that's caught my attention the most, honestly, has been
my pretty blue eyes.
No,
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah, good eyes. No, it's the whole Astros drama, because I'm really passionate about following a career that involves sports broadcasting and reporting. So I definitely feel for the reporters that had to deal with Todman in the clubhouse that day. And I just think that the MLB should try to do something to, not exactly, like reparations or anything like that, but
Step up.
Step up and show that people can't act like that towards reporters. They do a very difficult job. They have to ask very difficult questions to players. Players aren't always going to like what they ask, but that's their job, and they should be allowed to do that.
And not only is it a reporter, but it's a person.
Do you think that the treatment of reporters by athletes has gotten worse or better, or do you think it's the same it has been and you want it to change?
I think it's been the same. I don't think there's ever anything that's made it significantly worse. I think it's just more. You hear from more people now because the
information age.
we hear from so many people now. Of course, now we're going to be some of those people that the audience will hear from. We're more talking heads, but we're trying to be better at that than most. But either way, no matter what someone's opinion is, unless they make it personal, don't bash the reporters. They're just simply doing their job, and they're trying to do a good job at it as well. So that's pretty much all I gotta say.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm flattered that I was asked to join this. This is amazing, and I can't tell you how.
Admit it, Joe, you lost a bet.
I can tell you honestly that the amount of information that you have is amazing to me. Keep it up, please. Keep having this, because I think that this is an important thing you're doing.
And as your dad, I gotta say, I couldn't be more proud of you.
And I think this will be the start of something really good for the two of us.
No, this is my last time.
Yeah, no. You don't have a choice in this agreement.
Okay. Well, goodbye to everybody. This is
everybody.
Martin, Joe,
This is Joey.
Steven.
Signing off.
Goodbye.